Let's talk about the news of the day that we're going to be getting into here on the afternoon show. I'm Connor Thomas along with Ricky Patalico, and thank you for checking out the Fanatics YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of that great stuff. Big day today with the NFL schedule coming out last night. We're going to get into that. But the first thing we need to talk about, Aaron Nola was a mess last night. It's one of the worst starts I can remember seeing by a Philadelphia Phillies starting pitcher. It was 2024 Taiwan Walker-esque. The problem is, what in the world do you do with him? Because there doesn't seem to be an easy solution for a way out of this. Ricky, if you're the manager of the Phillies, or if you're in the front office, what the heck do you do with Nola?
Thinking of an IL stint.
Yeah.
I mean, that's seems to be the way out of things, where you want to get somebody to clear their head and kind of take a step back from the game for a week and a half. I don't think it would be that bad on Aaron Nola. A little fake injury, and then he signed for years. So I mean, it's not like it's really going to challenge him to take 10 days off and try to find himself. I think I was a firm believer in Nola. I got to tell you, I'm not right now.
I don't know how you could be.
And I probably would be the one guy to try to stick up for him, because I think he's still good. I just don't think he knows what he's doing out on the mound right now.
Yeah, now I will stick up for the Phillies, because I don't actually think Nola, even if he stinks, right, is going to be as big of a problem as people may think for the Phillies. Their rotation is still going to be very good. They do have kind of these natural buffers in place with how good the guys they have are and how good we expect Painter to be when he comes up. But there's just no spot to move Nola. He's not going to go to the bullpen. Also, for everybody out there, I know social media was ablaze last night during his start. He's not getting traded. He's not getting cut. There's nothing you can do.
Let me start by the trade. Who's going to take him right now?
Exactly.
I mean, you have to, sometimes you just got to get up, look in the mirror before you put something out there like trade Nola. Where's he going to go? Who's going to want him right now? I mean, that's a difficult thing to even say or do at this given time.
He could be pitching really well, and there would be teams that would not take 5 more years of his contract at the amount that he's getting. So the only way that he gets out of this is if he sacks up and starts to throw. And maybe he will do that. And he's had bad stretches before, but we've never quite seen him bad.
The thing is, and the excuse is, well, it's not warm weather yet. You know what? When you think about the season, there's 3 months of warm weather. The rest are kind of like what we're seeing now. You're going to get some misery. You're going to get some cold. You have to be able to pitch on all of those occasions. And if you can't, I mean, there's a little bit of an issue right now, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And there's another issue that I don't think you can do, and I don't think the Phillies will do, because part of the conversation is how willing are the Phillies to do something drastic with a guy that has been with the organization this long, that they put a lot of faith in, that they're paying this much. If you were to say spot start Taiwan Walker, skip a start for Aaron Nola, you open up a can of worms. Because what happens when Taiwan Walker goes out there and throws well? He has not been terrible this year. And if he goes 5 shutout and looks good, well, what? Do you give him another one and Aaron Nola just sits there? You can't do that either, because Nola then cannot go to the bullpen and take Walker's spot.
Nola's not going to be a guy that goes to the bullpen, throws 1 or 2 innings in garbage games. That's not going to be the case. The other thing, though, why doesn't Aaron learn from what happened to Taiwan Walker last year? I mean, he got his butt kicked, but he was able to bounce back. Aaron should just he's got to clear himself.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you have to literally clear all the bad thoughts that are in your head. And he keeps saying, well, I got the 2 strikes, but I didn't have a finishing pitch. Well, find one. I don't care. I don't care if you make up a pitch at this point in your career. That's what making adjustments is.
Yeah.
I always talk about Zach Wheeler, able to make adjustments pitch by pitch. Certain guys could go in a half inning and make an adjustment. Other players, it takes them months.
Right.
And I think Aaron might be one of those guys who's too stubborn that it might take him a long time to make some adjustments in what he's doing right now, because guess what? The whole league sees your pitches. The whole league sees what you're throwing. Your ball's flattening out. Your curveball doesn't have the break to it. Figure it out.
Now, in the same vein, I should say, as the Phillies are going to be okay, even if Nola continues to struggle, because this is still a good baseball team, I have a Phillies bet for you. I bet you that by this time next week, this baseball team is in first place in the NL East. They are 2 games back of where the Mets are right now.
And they have the Pirates and who coming up?
They have the Pirates, and then they have the Rockies, and then they have the Athletics.
All right, that could be 7-2 right there in 9 games.
The Mets go across town in New York to play the Yankees. Then they also have to see the Dodgers in that same stretch. Oh, and by the way, in between those, a trip up to Boston to see the Red Sox.
Yeah, the they're going to get it handed to them.
So we're going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay with the Phillies. We can't promise you the same with Aaron Nola. Now, is everything going to be okay with the Philadelphia Eagles? Today, we're going to break down the schedule into groups of 4. I think it makes it a little bit more consumable for people. And it also shows interesting stretches of the season and where they're going to have tough. 4-4-4-5, yes. Because unfortunately, the NFL wanted extra games, so now it's 17. I'm not a math guy. They got to.
Surprised we're not up to a couple dozen right now.
We'll get to 18.
The way this league wants money.
But I'll tell you, there are a couple of easy stretches on the Philadelphia Eagles schedule, and those are coupled with a couple of harder stretches. So we won't go exactly wins and losses, but you will get an idea of when the Eagles are going to need to turn it on and when they're going to have to really, okay, you can ratchet back a little bit. These are some winnable games.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it seems like the Eagles are the cream of the crop. I mean, let's start with that. So when we're saying tough schedule, that means there's, some bunched up games where you might have some issues in those games. And the way they're kind of scheduled, you might have some issues. I know Bill Colarulo brought up the Lions game already. Short week, blah, blah, blah. Bill's like that, and he's making excuses early on. But I think the one thing Nick Sirianni has proven is that he can get his team ready for any game, really, because you think about the playoffs last year, the NFC Championship, the Super Bowl they were kind of a joke.
Yeah.
And if you can get your team ready for that, you can get your team ready for 3-4 games in a row.
And also, something that Nick Sirianni is not going to necessarily have to get his team ready for this year, travel too much. They actually don't have a bad schedule when it comes to where they're going to have to go and when. I haven't heard anyone talk about it yet. We're going to dive into the travel schedule because you've played in baseball. Well, it's a lot more travel because
you're all over the place. I mean, you're taking 70, 80 flights a year.
Yeah, frequent flyer miles out the rear.
You don't get them. Anyway, so. But I mean, it's just one of those things where you don't want West Coast trips. And sometimes there are teams that get stuck with that. I haven't looked around, but I bet you there's a team that's stuck with 3 or 4 cross-country trips. And the Eagles were lucky enough not to get that. So that's a bonus. And I'm talking health of players bonus that way.
It's not easy to get on that plane and fly across and switch time zones. And the Eagles, they only do it really twice this year where they play outside the time zone. I mean, that's a pretty good spot to be in for the defending Super Bowl champions. So we'll keep you updated on that. And then, of course, we're going to build a little bit on our colleagues in Midday's conversation about the Philadelphia Flyers because Bill Colarulo and Mike Missanelli have been going after each other today, trying to decide if the Flyers are on pace with this rebuild or not.
No, and it was almost like a argument of the management that they're not doing their jobs. I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't believe that. I think Danny Briere and Keith Jones, I think they've done an adequate job right now for what they were handed. Let me put it this way. If I hand you a thing of dog poop and you give it back to me with silverware on it, that's a start. And I think that's where we are right now.
I hope that's not where we are right now. Well, what in the world were you talking about?
Well, you turn the poop into silverware.
I thought you just gave silverware with the poop. I thought you were getting ready for
I got the
questionable.
The poop's gone. They gave it back to me with something of value.
Man, okay. Well, you want more of that. Of course, you're going to have to check out.
You're definitely going to get more of that because I'm in the mood.
I can tell. We will talk about that. And the question on top of it, because I don't necessarily disagree with you on how they've done so far, but there is a level of when do you start to get impatient. I'm starting to get Sixers process vibes. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that there was a point where we should have expected the Sixers to compete.
Yeah.
And a lot of the fan base was so bought in on we're doing this rebuild this way that they did not push the team enough. When do we get to that point with the Flyers? Are we there yet or are we close to there?
I think it's going to be probably either mid-season upcoming because I think you'll get a pretty good read on what they are and their draft picks and what they look like. But I think this is the year that they have to start pushing towards a winner, not just showing up on the ice and giving 100%. 100% is great. And I know Flyers fans, you guys love your team, but you need a little bit more than that. You need to see some postseason hockey. and I don't know when it's going to come. I don't know if it comes this year or the next year, but it has to be one of the next 2 years.
I'm totally with you. So you know what has to be coming up 2 to 6 is us on a great show, and you're going to get it, folks. Of course, that's the news of the day from us here on the afternoon show. Again, you can watch us on TV, you can listen on the radio, and of course, always subscribe and like the Fanatic YouTube channel. We'll talk to you 2 to 6 Monday through Friday here on the afternoon show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, I want to thank you guys for watching, listening in. I want you to like, subscribe, do what you have to do to kind of stay on focus with us. Also, we also have plenty of other content that goes on here on YouTube. So go to that, like that, subscribe to that. And also you can catch us on the afternoon show, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia.